Hi, my name is Tanya and welcome to my small backyard vegetable garden here in central Victoria. After a couple of really hot days, we have had a very humid start to the morning and we have rain on the way, which is going to be so pleasing to the garden and for us. And I've just come out to check on everything and make sure everything is tied in tight, just in case we get a lot of wind with this change. It's interesting to see how much things have grown with that bit of heat. The cucumbers are getting taller and the tomatoes are bushing out with flowers appearing. And in comes the rain. This is just so beautiful to be out in it. I do not mind getting rained on while in the garden. I did take some time out to set up a tub here. I've got some of the smaller tomatoes in it and I'm trialing the wine cooler here in the center. I just want to get a few marigolds and other flowers around the tomatoes. Here we are, 2 days on, the sun is out and things are flowering. I came up just to do a bit of tidying here in the garden and thought the sunlight was so beautiful that I'd just do a quick tour of the garden just to see how much things have grown in a couple of days of sun and then some rain and now back into sun. Everything is looking very happy. We have some little yellow snack capsicums coming on. The Muncher burpless cucumbers that I planted about a week ago, some were already germinated. I also added more seeds into those pots and they have all germinated as well. So there are a lot of cucumber plants under each cover. I have just put the tomato cage over the top just for storage, and I am hoping that all these cucumbers will fill them right up. Last night my daughter and I came out late in the afternoon and got all the melons planted except one pot, which I am short one cover, so I did not get that in the ground. I need to put a little bit of potting mix around these tiny seedlings just to help them stand up, but I think they will get going quite quickly and hopefully this arch will provide a great growing frame for them. As you can see, the borlotti beans did get burnt on the leaves over those couple of hot days. And so did the tender green beans. But the corn has loved it. It has more than tripled in size since I planted it out in this bed. These pumpkins are putting on extra leaves, and I am leaving the hessian here because we have another couple of hot days coming next week. The loofah have put on extra leaves, and the tromboncino is really moving along. The zucchini and the squash along here are all looking very settled in. I may have to prune back the bush on the other side of this garden bed just a bit more because this does go into shade in the afternoon. But this corn is absolutely loving this weather. I have 2 more pots of squash and zucchini, and these are now double the size of those in the pots. So I must find somewhere to get those in. I'm hoping these will just sort of trail over the edge. I may have to put some sort of growing frame there to help them. I've also been in and removed the wool off this bed and got it all top dressed with manure and straw ready for planting. I've moved the basil plants here to hang out with all the other basil plants because you can never have too much basil. So we've planted up all the rock melons here under these arches, alternating between the 2 different types. Can't wait till they get growing and to be picking and eating rock melon out of the garden again. And I think the rock melons are looking pretty good for only being planted last night. I got a honeybee tomato in here on the arch. And I have tomatoes here flowering. They all need pruning and tying in. A lot of the raspberries got cooked on the canes during those couple of very hot days, but there is still plenty to eat. The purple climbing beans are a wonderful sight, and there are flowers coming on those. This is the extent of my tomatoes before Christmas. Sadly, nothing to pick and eat. The weather has played a huge part in the ripening and the growing. So even the Roma tomatoes that I got in so early are still not ripe. And flowers coming here on the bush beans. These are the brown beauty as well, and some of these were resown. And the Japanese climbing cucumber has, I think, doubled in size in the last couple of days. This was the marigold that had the ants in underneath it. And the Tasmanian chocolate flowers are always these double cute little sunflowers. These are the San Marzano, not looking too bad. Flowers coming on them. I really need to keep up with pruning. And I finally put the Indigo Ruby tomatoes in. It's taken them so long. I'm not quite sure why it took so long for those to germinate, but I have my fingers crossed that eventually by the end of summer, we will be picking at least one tomato off those. These sunflowers are looking fantastic. So many flowers down the stem, and they are quite tall and looking absolutely beautiful with the leeks that are now out in flower. The bees are having a joyful time in those. The rhubarb has also taken off. I need to pick this again. There is heaps of stems here. It is looking so good. And I'm happy to see that the dragon's blood rhubarb, the stems are also thickening up as it settles in. These were the crowns that I bought the end of winter, and they were marked down. This is the Parker's Red. And this is the Sydney Crimson, which is looking not too bad. These capsicums have benefited from the hessian that I have behind them, just stopping that radiant heat. But for now, let's get on and see how many potatoes I can get out. Some new potatoes for Christmas will be very nice. What is so beautiful about these potatoes is that they come out of the ground quite a dark pink, and as they are out of the ground longer and longer, they turn a beautiful purple. I am only digging into the first layer. There was a second layer, and the plants that are coming out are from the first layer and the second layer. So I will have to get in and get some soil out of this big tub so I can see if there are any potatoes on a lower level. Just having a look around this imperial, seeing if I can grab any. I can't reach any, and this will be a bit more of a task in digging these up because I have to move that cage and there is a lot of soil. So that is for another day.